Hello aspirants, welcome to GS Core. I am Ashutosh and let's start the session of Daily Current Affairs from MCQs. In this session, let's look at the topics first. We have identified for you from the news today. And first of all, the topic is Laccadive Sea, also called as the Laccadive Sea. Why it was a news? Because some new species of fish. Okay, so new fish species have been found here. And why they have been in use? Because the finding is significant due to their ability to use the tools to make their food or to take food from the sea urchins. Okay, that's why they are in use. Second is grasshopper effect. The grasshopper effect means effect which has been seen in the environmental effect. Basically it is like that, and the Arctic is facing some pollution crisis due to this effect, so we'll look into the terms here. Next is the International Monetary Fund. It was in news because of two important things. The first one being that it has predicted the growth rate of 6.8% in the next financial year from this year 2024 वाला जो year होगा उसमें इन्होंने क्या कहा है कि 6.8% of the growth will be witnessed for India. Okay, so this has been said in its report. Okay, and the other news important for this IMF was that Sri Lanka has rejected the international bondholders' proposal to restructure more than 12 million in debt, putting thus the risk of the critical international monetary fund support. Okay, so that's why this was in news. So two issues have been covered here. Next is the green bonds. The green bonds were in news because India has allowed the financial institutional investors to buy the green bond or to invest in the green bonds. So that's why they were in the news. The green credit program. Okay, recently Madhya Pradesh, the state of India, has got the one of the best award in terms of the green credit program. So we'll look into the issue of green credit program. Okay, so for us the first topic is the Laccadive Sea. Based on that, let's see the questions here. The question have been asked to you in the form of the location of the sea and its importance, its relative significance. So consider the following statement regarding the Laccadive Sea. Okay, so it is situated near the southeastern coast of India, bordering Sri Lanka and Myanmar. Now this is factually wrong. Why it is factually wrong? This is not on the southeastern coast but the southwestern coast. Okay, southwestern coast bordering Sri Lanka and Myanmar. So if you are aware of the location of Laccadive, it's also called as a Laccadive Sea, basically Laccadive Sea. And here you go, here we have the Laccadive Sea, here we have Sri Lanka, here we have Maldives. Maldives. Okay, situation of this Laccadive Sea. And the sea is very important due to its the sea also touches the 9-degree channel, which connects with the Andaman Nicobar island wala. To its west it meets the Indian Ocean. To the north of the Laccadive Sea it has an Arabian Sea here. Okay, and in the northeast it has the border with the state of Kerala. Okay, and the eastern portion of the Laccadive Sea or Laccadive Sea, it meets the Maldive Island and the Sri Lanka. Further, we have the next option. So one is incorrect. Why? Because of from the western coast, not on the eastern coast. Trivandrum and Kochi are the major cities on its coast. Yes, true. It is true. Why it is true? Because the Trivandrum. Okay, if you see, I had told you there's a nearby on the northeastern. It has a Kerala. Okay, so Trivandrum and Kochi are of that part. So that's why these two are the second statement is true. Okay, and besides Trivandrum and Kerala, we have the other cities, very important cities like beside the India, we have the Ceylon, Colombo in Sri Lanka, which are in the nearby area of Laccadive Sea. So you have Malé in the Maldives. Okay, so it's a very strategic also, the Laccadive Sea. 2 is correct here. Third statement says relatively warm and consistent temperature inhibits formation of rich marine life. Now there's a catch in that. If you are aware of the location of the Laccadive Sea, okay, and if you are aware that in the Laccadive Sea we have also a Gulf of Mannar. and this Gulf of Mannar is very rich in the marine flora and fauna. So here the statement said it is the warm and consistent temperature inhibits, it will not inhibit, it will aid in the formation of rich flora and fauna rather than inhibiting the conditions for the formation of good flora and fauna or the marine life. And why? Because one of the thing is that warm and consistent, कि ये नहीं कि ज़्यादा बढ़ गया टेम्परेचर तो फिर ज़्यादा फिर हो जाएगा, नहीं, एक वार्म होना चाहिए और एक कंसिस्टेंट होना चाहिए, देन वी कैन हैव दैट good number of formation of the marine life. So it promotes the marine life rather than inhibiting the marine life. Okay, but if the warm temperature becomes more warmer, then it will inhibit, it will hinder the marine life. Why? Because of the warmer temperature, marine life will get disturbed, many of the fish, corals will die. Okay, so it is wrong statement. Why? Because of the concept involved and the logical exponents which we have to align with the location of the sea. ठीक है, यूपीएससी कई बार आपको ऐसे पूछ सकती है, अगर आप लोकेशन से कंफर्म है, you can solve that question. Number 4 says fish species that live in the Laccadive Sea of the southwest corner of Indian coast are capable of using tools. Yes, I told you this was in news, and based on that we have formed the question on Laccadive Sea. So of course the 2 and 4 are correct here. Okay, so only 2, option B will be the answer. So what happened? So we have some fish species, okay, and these fish species are known to exhibit the tendency to use the tools. What kind of tools they use? Okay, so basically what we know so far, that the primates, bird, otters, octopuses and many other animals are capable of wielding the tools, okay, but however the fish who has no hand, claws or tentacles, they are not able to do so. But by the recent findings we can say that they are able to grasp and manipulate objects, okay, and these are the key requirements for using the tools. And what they were using, they were using the live or dead coral structures and as an tool to break the hard shells of sea urchins so that they could get to the edible bits inside. So basically we have the sea urchins, ऐसे हर sea में आपको ऐसे पाए जाएंगे, आपको we'll see on the seabed. Okay, so basically they are echinoderms and they are present in every ocean water. So what they use the corals, okay, the hard structures to break the shell cover. तो sea urchins के ऊपर क्या होता है, एक shell cover लगा होता है, and fish use the corals, died one or live one, to break the shell, and thereafter they can eat the urchins whatever inside. Okay, so it means they are using capable of using the tools for that matter. Okay, so they have been found to be capable of using tools, and 3 new species of fishes which has been found, they are capable of using tools to extract food from the corals also, and that's why it was very significant. I hope the concept is clear to you and the information you will understand from the Prelims point of view. Next question we have what is Grasshopper Effect? So basically the Grasshopper Effect is it is a geochemical process that transports certain chemicals from warmer to colder regions of the earth. Okay, this was in news. Why? Because the populations in the Arctic region, they are facing the pollution, and the pollution crisis is due to the pollution being faced by the local population for the pollutions which are not the cause of the Arctic, कि उनको आर्कटिक के अंदर वो pollution नहीं बना है, वो कहीं और से उठ के आया है. The pollution has been carried away from somewhere else, and how? Through the geochemical process, through the atmosphere. So Arctic is facing the pollution crisis which is causing the problem for the local populace, and basically this is from the process known as the global distillation, or it is also called the global distillation or the Grasshopper Effect. So basically what is this global distillation or the Grasshopper Effect? Okay, it is a geochemical process that transports certain chemicals from the warmer regions to colder regions. Now how they do so? If warmer region में ज़्यादा अगर pollution है, so they can transport those pollution, the POP mainly, persistent organic pollutants, the pollutants which are more persistent in nature and they are harmful for the human bodies, human health, and they have the potential to biomagnify, they have the potential to bioaccumulate in the environment. Okay, biomagnify means उसका जो pollution level है वो magnify हो जाएगा, and accumulate means the pollution will accumulate at a certain level. It will have a harmful impact on the human and human health. Okay, so basically how this can be done, the global distillation process. So primarily the POP travel through the atmosphere. So atmosphere के through travel करें, touching down on the oceans and the fresh water bodies. Then after the touching on the fresh water bodies, they evaporates. So basically they evaporates, and after the evaporation into the atmosphere again, traveling further, then they came forward, they came into contact with the colder regions, they came into the contact with the colder regions, and when these chemicals came in the contact with the colder regions, they condense, then the condensation occurs, and due to that they deposit on those landforms. Okay, so when these chemicals are released into the environment, some evaporates when the ambient temperatures are warm. Okay, and when they evaporate, they blow around on winds until the temperatures which they encounter here as a colder temperature, then they condensation occurs, and that's why they deposit on the surface. So basically the drop in temperatures large enough to result in the deposition can occur when chemicals are blown from warmer to colder climates, or when there is a seasonal change. Okay, so since the global distillation is a slow process that relies on successive evaporation condensation cycle, because we have discussed the evaporation hoga, then it will condense. Okay, so this cycle is a longer cycle, so that's why it is only effective for semi volatile. It is only effective for semi volatile, okay, chemicals, and basically POPs in that category, DDT, okay, polychlorinated biphenyls and ninenes. So that's why it is a global distillation. It has been known as a geochemical process that transports certain chemicals from the warmer to colder regions of the earth through the process of evaporation and condensations. Okay, I hope the point is clear to you, and why it was in news is clear, because in the Arctic the people are facing the pollution crisis which is not their own. ठीक है, जो उनका खुद का है ही नहीं, फिर भी उसके लिए वो लोग क्राइसिस फील कर रहे हैं ड्यू टू दिस ग्लोबल डिस्टिलेशन प्रोसेस. Okay, so let's see the next news piece we have based on that MCQ. Consider the following statement regarding the IMF. Okay, the IMF or the International Monetary Fund, see the keywords here, monetary fund, international. Okay, if you are new to this, so they primarily focus on ending extreme poverty and boost global prosperity. Now going by the statement, you can observe that the word primarily has been used as a keyword. Here we have monetary fund, so they must be dealing something with monetary matters, exchange rate, not solely with the ending extreme poverty and global prosperity. That might be the duty of the UNDP or some other organization which have a social economic dimension. However, IMF is a professional monetary fund, so it will not only focusing primarily on that. So applying that logic will eliminate the one number. The statement 1 is eliminated. Why? Because the primarily function is basically IMF का क्या है, maintain the global stability, maintain the global financial stability, the stability in exchange rate. क्योंकि इसका जो इतिहास है, the history of IMF is driven by the origin is driven by the global financial crisis, the Great Depression 1930s, in which there was a highly competitive devaluation. Based on that, the exchange rate has collapsed, and based on that, in 1944, Bretton Woods organization, the IMF was created as a monetary fund. Okay, so IMF plays a very crucial role, and it was established in 1944. It has now, if you say, 190 member country, and very critical role in ensuring the stability of International Monetary Fund. Okay, so 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 says IMF special drawing rights serve as a supplementary international reserve assets created to supplement its member countries' official reserves. Yes, statement 2 is correct here. SDRs, what are SDRs? SDRs are basically created by the IMF in 1969 में create हुआ था SDR, and the main basic function of the SDR is to supplement its member countries' official reserves, and these SDR are allocated to member countries in proportion to their IMF quotas. Okay, so in proportion to their IMF quotas, उनको SDR का reserve मिलता है. Quota is the monetary contribution which every country contributes. So basically what would happen here, the higher the contribution, the more number of quotas that country will have. So that is also an issue in the IMF, which has been debatable nowadays. Okay, so the basically SDR are allocated to the member countries in proportion to their IMF quotas, and they can be exchanged for freely usable currencies. So these quotas can be exchanged for freely usable currency. Very important point. So 2 will correct here. Third statement says IMF lending programs are designed to address short-term liquidity issues of member countries without any long-term policy conditionality. Why it will be incorrect here? Okay, why they are not to address short-term liquidity? Very narrower definition, very narrower point of view with regard to IMF issue without any long-term policy conditionalities. These two are not in congruence with the objective of IMF. Basically, if you are aware of the history also, if you are aware of the functioning of IMF, you will see that IMF give the loans, grants to the countries which are in the financial crisis. And of course, when the countries have been given the loan and grants by the IMF, they will put some certain conditionalities on those countries which they have to fulfill. The countries which have taken the assistance from the IMF. Okay, so that's why when I told you that it was also in news, because Sri Lanka has rejected the international bondholders proposal to restructure the 12 million in debt, so putting that critical risk of IMF support. Okay, and what they do, IMF, the lending programs, the names like standby arrangements and extended fund facilities, they provide the financial assistance to member countries facing the balance of payment crisis. We have taken that in 1991 before the LPG crisis, etc. Okay, so that's why number 3 statement will also be incorrect. Only 2 here is the correct one. Okay, only 2 here is the correct one. I hope you got the concepts here. And next we'll see. Okay, any question with regard to IMF, you can put into the comment box. So IMF as a concept is very important from prelims point of view. Next is the green bonds, which of the following statements consider the following statement regarding the green bonds. So basically green bonds were in news. Why? Because India has allowed the financial foreign institutional investors to invest in its green bond. So let's see at the green bond. So basically green bonds are a type of fixed income, investment, and they are used to fund projects with a positive environmental impact, and they are like a traditional bonds. Okay, where they offers, and they also offers a stated return. They offer stated return and a promise also for such returns. And these bonds are issued by the public, can also issue, public, private, or the multilateral entities for the purpose to raise capital for the initiatives which contributes towards the sustainable growth development, along with the generate identifiable climate, environmental, or other benefits. So this is the concept of the green bond. So they are governed by the UNEP issued guidelines called green bond principle. No, they are not governed by the UNEP issued green bond principles, but they are governed by, or the, you can say, the International Capital Market Association, in the short form ICMA, very popular one. It publishes the green bond principles. Okay, the principles of green bond. So one is incorrect here, not UNDP. They are not form of the debt financing. This is also a kind of incorrect statement, because when I told you they are giving a fixed return and they can be used to finance. Okay, and that's why the green bonds work like regular bonds, which is mean it is a kind of debt financing. Okay, kind of debt financing. Regular bond के लिए use होता है ये. They are the form of the debt financing, because they are the fixed, they give the fixed income to fund the project with a positive environmental impact. ठीक है. So we have, in terms of incorrect, both 1 and 2 are incorrect here. So D will be the options. D will be the option here. Both are, neither 1 nor 2 is correct one. Next question is, which of the following is correct regarding the green credit program? Okay, recently seen in news. So let's see the statements here with regard to the green credit program. A market-based trading mechanism for trade in surplus carbon. No, it might look you closer to that credit program, a trade in the carbon, but it is not a carbon-based trading initiative. Second number, the statement B says a credit scheme by UNDP for developing countries as a part of the Green Climate Fund. No, it is also incorrect, not connected with UNDP or Green Climate Fund. Okay. C says it is a part of the broader life, that is the environment and you, the lifestyle for environment, which has been given by the PM Modi, a slogan campaign, and promotes and rewards voluntary environmental positive actions. Yes, it is true. The C number is true, and it is not a CSR initiative for tree plantation. Basically, the green credit program covers the green plantation, but it is not a CSR initiative for green plantation in the gram panchayats. Okay, so only C is here, correct option here. And why it was in news? Because MP has taken the forefront in driving the green credit program. Okay, and this green credit program, it is a government program. It has been said in the 2023 budget document में कहा गया था, and it is a voluntary program initiated by the government. So it is a voluntary program by government. Okay, and what it does, it incentivizes the individuals and entities for their positive contribution to the environment, and these green credits are units of incentives. Okay, so these are provided to participants engaged in activities that have a positive impact on the environment, and this scheme is a part of the broader life campaign, that is a lifestyle for environment, lifestyle and environment, and it promotes and rewards voluntary environment positive action. In that context, the Madhya Pradesh has taken the forefront in driving the green credit program forward, and it secured an approval for over 500 land parcels to tree plantation across 10 states. And as I told you, it is voluntary towards the environment. Okay, it promotes and rewards the environmental positive action. So that's why in the MP, some public sector units have taken that initiatives, and they have planned for to plantation for the 500 land parcels to tree plantation across 10 states. Okay, so basically MP has one of the highest approved degraded forest land area. Okay, that has been followed by the Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat and Assam, and the PSUs, the public sector undertakings, is said to be the spearhead in these programs. So that's why the MP has bagged the first position in implementation of this green credit program. The program is basically for the voluntary actions initiated by the government of India, the government, and which promotes and reward for the environmentally positive actions. So I hope the concepts are clear to you. See you next time. Thank you very much. Take care.